Hi, I'm Dennis from Plain Truth Ministry. Today I want to talk about a song that I absolutely love, Amazing Grace, written by a man named John Newton. John Newton lived an amazing life. Uh, he went to sea early, was conscripted in the British Navy, deserted, was incorrigible, was placed on a slave trading ship as part of the crew, was profane to the point where a British slave trader captain said that he was the most profane person that he had ever encountered. Newton almost lost his life in a storm off the coast of Ireland and then finally came to know Christ. Like many of us, he lived without God in his life, without knowing Christ, well into his adulthood. He found Christ over time. In the storm, he said, "Only God's mercy is going to save us at this point," and thankfully for us, it did. Once he finally converted to Christ, he became very active in the church with his wife, served the church for the rest of his adult life. And among the many songs that he penned, Amazing Grace is the one we know best. And Amazing Grace is beautiful to me in its simplicity and its completeness. It shares the completeness of the gospel in six simple stanzas. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. We who didn't know God for a time, didn't know God was chasing us, continued to chase us until he finally caught us and by his grace chose to save us. Newton goes on in the second verse to say, "'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed." The hour he first believed was on that ship when he thought he was going to die. And it took 6 years before he finally completely converted after he was made captain of his own slave ship and made several journeys buying slaves and taking them to America. But that first moment led to the intervening time, to the point where he willingly accepted God's grace fully. He goes on to say, "Through many dangers, toils, and tears, I have already come. 'Tis grace has brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home." Again, talking about God continuing to work on him until he chose to finally accept fully the grace that was presented to him. The Lord has promised good to me. His word my hope secures. He will my shield and portion be as long as life endures. Knowing on this earth that he would still face many things, he knew God's grace would carry him through, just as he promised. Yet when this flesh and heart shall fail, and mortal life shall cease, I shall possess within the veil a life of joy and peace, eternity. And then finally, when we've been there, he knows he's not alone. When we've been there 10,000 years, bright shining as the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. God got us there. He bought us through Christ, and we have eternity with him. What a beautiful song. The gospel, simple, from a man who had nothing to a man who had God. Thank you, and God bless.